Welcome to Jolly Marriage. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and my beautiful bride Dee. And we are the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. Going on 37 years together. No, married. 40 years together. Haven't had an argument in 35 years. And we are grateful. So we want to welcome everybody. Kareem is from the Philippines. People are joining in all over the world.
We've been to the Philippines.
We love the Philippines.
Lovely people.
Lovely. We had the best.
Very warm, very inviting.
Yeah. Billy State, you love the Philippines. You got to go because they love God and they ain't ashamed about it. So look, let's talk about tonight's program. Let me take what else do I have to tell them, Dee? Get two copies of the book. Go to jollymarriage.com if you don't have the book. And for those in other countries, you can get digital versions of the book. Download them immediately. But we recommend 2 copies of the book because I said it earlier, you don't share a toothbrush with your mate.
And I said that was nasty.
You said that was nasty. And so we don't want you to share your book per se. We want you to read it at the same time and grow at the same time. So get the 2 books, get the bundle, 2 books, 2 workbooks, an audio book, and a CD series. And important to hear, folks, that your marriage is worth the investment. It really is worth the investment. So he says your nails are gorgeous, Dee. They're crazy. That's what they are.
Who said that?
Kareem.
Oh, thank you.
Show everybody your nails.
They're all different. No, they're kind of similar. They're green and they're blue and they got a stripe. Keeps him on his toes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're in Kansas City, but you're staying a while. Great. All right, now let's talk about tonight's project, program, and topic. We've been on this intimacy and sex issue, and it's gotten a lot of responses. We've gotten a lot of responses. By the way, 2 more announcements. Please feel free to send your questions in by email so we can try and address them on Monday nights. info@williejolly.com. info@williejolly.com. Second, we've put out an email last week to everybody about the biggest mistakes people make in marriage and in relationships and how to fix them. And we said, if you're interested in the seminar, the series, we're going to do the first one. It'll be on a Tuesday night. Send us an email, say interested. We had a lot of people said interested. The first one is specially priced at $20 registration, and that's per computer. So you can have as many people sitting around the computer as you like. But let us know if you're interested. Just send us an email, info@williejolly.com. We'll do it on a Tuesday night. We're working on the schedule, and it'll be in the evening, probably 7 to 9, somewhere like that, 7, 8:30, 7 to 9. So
you're saying you're still working out the details?
Working out the detail. info@williejolly.com.
It's called Relationship Repair Series. That's the umbrella.
Okay. And it's the Relationship Repair Series, and we're going to talk about the mistakes that married people make and how to fix them. Okay. So what we want to talk about is, how do you spell romance? Now, there was a commercial many years ago that many people, if you're old enough to remember, how do you spell relief? And the answer was ROLAIDS, Rolaids. And it was a great commercial about how do you spell relief. Well, people took off on that. How do you spell relief? SEX. That was a good one. So what we wanted to talk about was, how do you spell romance in your relationship? And are you and your mate spelling it the same way? See, one mate might spell romance SEX. The other one might spell romance INT, intimacy. So which one is it how do you spell it? And if y'all are not on the same page on how you spell relief, it could be a problem, a big problem. So what we want to do is we want to talk about how do you spell relief, and how do you get on the same page? And it
How do you
goes,
spell romance?
I mean, how do you spell romance, and how do you, and getting on the same page? Welcome, Courtney. Good evening, Courtney. God first. I love that. Landa Pack joined. We got people joining on Instagram, and we got people joining on Facebook Live. We got people joining LinkedIn. So wherever you are, however you got here, we are glad you're here. So let's talk about this, because this is a big issue, because it goes back to our number, going back to the book, the 3 things break up marriages: sex, money, communication. And of the 3, the most important is communication, because if you communicate more effectively, you have a better love life. You communicate more effectively, you have a better money management life. So communication is critically important. So we got to help people who, she said bacon. That's good. Oh, Denise, bacon. My love loves to cook for me and knows my love language is bacon.
Oh, that is funny.
That is funny.
Bacon is a love language.
Wow.
And bacon smells good.
Well, she said that's how she spells romance. He cooks up some bacon for her, and she happy as can be. So romance.
That's great.
That is really good. It really is. So, folks, when you are able to know the love language, and we talked about that with our son last night at dinner, and love language.
I had a Mother's Day dinner last night because he's going to be out of the country. So we were actually talking about that.
We were talking about it, and talking about what do you learn.
He said all of them, and I said no.
Denise said they're dating, not married yet. Well, he's doing the right job if he knows how to cook the bacon and make you smile. But one of the keys to the biggest key to all of this is communication. Are you communicating with your mate about your love language, about what turns you on, about how you like to be romanced, and how you like romance to happen in your life? Because if you don't communicate, then you got a guessing game. Am I right about it? What's up, Senior Terrence? And so we've got to help people define what the secret is to creating a marriage like ours. We want people to be able to talk about marriage like we talk about it. We've been married 37 years, and we still got the hots for each other. I got the hots for her. Rub her feet at night when in bed, rub her arms. I got it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about intimacy, sex. Are they the same in your marriage? Are y'all spelling it the same? Are you seeing it the same? Because really, in our relationship, how do we spell romance? I believe we spell romance with time and consideration,
Patience.
and patience, and communication. We talk about it. We talk about what's going on, what's good, what's happening.
Kindness.
Right. So let's talk about. Dee just finished teaching a class at our church. We go to First Baptist Church in Glenarden, and it was Zoom, and she taught a very popular class on temperaments and how that can have an impact on how you and your mate communicate or work together, because people are hardwired and they come with different hard wiring. And if you're expecting them to be like you, or expecting them to be like your daddy or your mama, that don't always work. And so there's where some tension, some
conflict
arises. So let's talk about it.
All right. So I would say that when you say how do you spell romance, I think you have to break it down into developing the different elements, learning the different elements that put communication together.
Okay.
All
right.
And so the course I taught was, I said this, you heard that. I said this, you heard that. Well, why did you hear something other than what I said? And that goes to temperament, character, and personality. That was what we talked about actually in class, and it was really emotionally draining. So let me give you this. Let me give you this summary. So the temperament is the hardwiring, is how God made us. And that temperament goes back. That was in the Bible, right?
Yes.
And so it actually ends up being 4 basic types of temperament, how God wired you. And the terminology that we worked with was sanguine, caloric, melancholy, and phlegmatic. So let's just say sanguine, which is what Willie is.
Woo!
And to make it easy to understand, sanguine is yellow. And in some of the books, they say it's yellow. Bright, like the party, everybody's happy to see you. You're a storyteller, you tell stories, and you tend to talk as you think.
Okay.
Okay.
That's true.
So that's one temperament. That's one hardwiring. So how I have to deal with you is very different than I would deal with somebody who is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is green. So phlegmatic is the kind of person who is cool, calm, kumbaya, let us figure out how to work together, let us negotiate, that kind of person.
Okay.
Which is really more like our son. That's what we kind of work that out. Like, easy going.
Right.
And can be very stubborn though. Quiet and stubborn.
Yeah.
So how I dealt with him, even as a son, is very different than some of the kinds of things that I would say, or how I would get you to do something would be very different than how I would get him to do something.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So then you add in there in the middle. What?
Bradley said, can't we just all get along?
That is how we have to learn to get along, because of that hard wiring. And then you got these two in the middle who are like really very aggressive.
Okay.
Who is the melancholy and the caloric.
Okay.
The caloric is like, I'm in charge. Let's get this done. Let's stop wasting, which is what I tend to be. Let's stop wasting time. Let's just get this done. And can be pushy and bossy, but can get the job done. So you have to be very careful with that, right? And that color is red, like the bull in China shop. And then melancholy is, the color would be blue. And melancholy is, I know what I'm doing, and everything is a list, everything is organized, and I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Get out of my way and let me do it. Right?
Right.
So you've got the 4 hard wirings that affect how you relate to people. So the course that I taught actually dealt with knowing your own temperament. Once you know that, then you need to learn the temperament of the people that you care most about, and how effective it can be when you know the temperament of the people that you work with.
And who you sleep with, and who you live with, and who you marry. So you shouldn't try and make somebody who's super, as Terrence says, super active, like myself, a sanguine, try and calm me down.
Right. Well, it's not going to work. So then the first thing that happens sometimes in marriages, when I get married, I'm going to change it.
Oh, ouch.
And when people are honest, they admit that I'm going to work on him or her after they get married. That is a recipe for disaster. That does not work. So you got.
But hold, let me put a pin there though. You did change me. Okay.
No, I didn't.
You didn't change my hard wiring, but you changed my behavior.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
Well, how did I deal with the bed?
Okay.
The bed when I was
your
single.
Hard wiring.
Oh, let me explain. When I was single, my mindset was, why make up the bed? I'm gonna get back in it tonight. Why make it up? And that was my way of doing things. Clean up. Why I gotta clean up? I mean, I got it.
Don't tell people how nasty you were. Let's not do that. Let's not tell them how nasty you were. He did shower. Let me just say, he did shower.
But I didn't make up the bed, but I have changed. Do I make up the bed every day now? Every day. Every day I make up the bed. I get out of bed last.
I did not change your heart wiring.
No, that's what I said. It wasn't how you. I said behavior. I changed my behavior. You changed my behavior, and you changed ways I respond to people. I changed you. You had no sense.
Respond to me.
Yeah, you had no sense of humor. Zero.
I got a sense of humor just to survive.
Well, you got it though.
Okay.
All right. So.
But that's not my hard wiring.
I don't know if you're hard wired. That you weren't funny.
No. I'm saying that was not my hard wiring to be humorous.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Because as a caloric and melancholy, I'm focused on bottom line details, and I don't really understand the concept of humor. So I really had to work at that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's take it to the next level. So you've got your basic temperament, just how you popped out. You popped out being all over the place.
Brad said, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and Willie is from Jupiter. Big and bold and loud and brash. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so once we deal with the hard wiring, then the next level, okay, going back to Tim LaHaye. Do y'all remember Tim LaHaye?
Yeah.
Tim LaHaye was the control spirit who wrote the book, The Control. Well, he really wrote like 40 or so books, and he was popular because he wrote the Left Behind series.
Yes.
And he died like 4 or 5 years ago. Anyway, but he kind of unpacked that. You got the temperament, and then you have the character. And then from there, you have the personality. So let's go to the next thing. So then you got your character. You said, well, how is that different than your temperament? So you popped out loud, brash, all this other kind of stuff. Your character is your culture, your education, the people that you are around, which then shape your behavior. So while you do music, okay, you like a party, you show up and then a party is going on, right?
Yes. But
you were in a band that shaped your character.
Yes.
The education of your mom and your dad shaped you. So that's part of the character, that which is your culture.
I get you.
Okay. And then lastly is your personality. Your personality is that suit you put on, the hat and everything when you go out to greet the world. Because oftentimes what you package yourself as is not really who you are.
Well, I'm not quite sure about that, because I believe your personality is tied to how you're hardwired.
I'm saying that there's 3 different pieces that put you together.
Okay, and how did that impact a relationship, though? We got people who saying
you have people who put on their coat, their armor. That's not really who they are, but they wear it, and so they never take it off, right?
Right.
Or now let's take COVID, for example.
Okay.
They're forced to. I'm in this environment with this person 24/7. I have no escape. I have no place where I can go and let my hair down and just be me. That's what I'm saying. So when we talk about personality, it's that you show the world, and when you come back home, hopefully you can take it off. But a lot of times people can't. That's why you have such an increase in domestic violence.
So, okay, we got these 2 people. One wants sex when they think romance. One wants intimacy. They're not talking because of the way they're come to the party.
How they come to the party. So once you understand how your mate has come to the party, how they're wired, then you learn their language. Then you learn the language. And that's how you communicate with them. And that languaging then is where the 5 love languages come in.
But I give you all the languages.
Okay. So, Gary Chapman, okay. But see, there was the temperament and the character and the personality foundation.
Right.
Then you get, okay, so now I know how you're hardwired. Now I can understand your languaging better. And Gary Chapman gave the words to that. Okay, so some of you are what? You want romance. How do you want it? I want to be touched. How do you want it?
I want time.
I want
time. Quality time.
Okay.
I want gifts.
Or somebody else says, I know you love me because you show me with gifts. Right?
Yeah. So the romance can come from different ways.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Right. So it really is quite complicated. And I think that in our case, we kind of stumbled upon it. Because as I started to really study this, I realized that we kind of worked through, we just kind of gelled. It really wasn't that difficult to work through and be able to zig and zag together because we seem to have a similar language.
Right.
Even though my temperament
was different.
Is different.
Your temperament quite different than mine. And as Terrence said, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical
And then
time.
we had the shared culture.
Yes.
Okay, which is the character. We're both people of faith. We both come from supportive families. We both then had the same undergirding and basic philosophical approaches to life.
So people who are coming to their relationship or in a relationship and they're not tracking on the same. They didn't come from the same type of family. They didn't come from the same kind of
Which
background.
meant if they didn't come from the same type of family in terms of the value system and the cultures and how they did things, then it's like, well, why do we have to go to grandma's house for dinner? That's a symbol of love, of sharing and being family, being together, right?
Yeah. And
if you don't understand that because that was not a part of your culture, then you might have issues with that. You might say, I don't even understand why are we doing that, right?
Right.
But then sometimes you're like, oh, okay, I'll go put on the face.
Yeah.
I'll put the personality on. And I'm pleasant, at least temporarily, until I can't take it anymore. Then I'll go sit in the car.
So when we have, Bradley has a question. Do you think the pandemic has had opposite effects on different couples? That is, bringing some closer together and pushing others further apart?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
I think so.
And so why do you think that happened? Because
I think us. We always liked each other, and I like being around him.
We're closer together now than more than ever. But part of that is, again, going back to romance. Romance is not. It's like prayer. Okay. Now prayer. The Bible says pray without ceasing. Well, how do you do that? You on your knees all day long? No, it's an attitude of prayer that you might have a concentrated on your knees time in the morning or at night or twice, or as a Muslim brothers and sisters, they do it 5 times. But to pray without ceasing means that you're in your heart, you're saying, thank you, Lord.
So it's always on your mind.
It's always in your spirit. Thank you, Lord. And that's how we are about our romance. It's a constant. We're giving. We are talking to each other. We're being sweet to each other. We're kind to each other.
I think we're appreciative of each other. So I want to be. I am gentle and warm, and I work at being funny because of how he makes me feel all the time. And so it becomes like that seesaw. You reciprocate, right?
You remember, folks, what we said. Now, this is a big one. In fact, I want to say something today that someone blessed me with. Janetta Bozeman Hardy. Her daughter is graduating from Howard University this
law school
this weekend. And I called her to say congratulations. And we talked for a moment. Then she said, when we got married, we had not dated for some time, but we got married 27 years ago. She said, you gave me the best advice. You came somewhere. I was speaking, and she said, you gave me, and said, make your marriage a triangle with God, the CEO, at the top. And you and your husband are the corners. And you got 33%, they got 33, he got 33%, but God got 34%. And that means he's the head of this marriage. And every issue goes to the CEO. And if you do that, you're going to have a good marriage. She said, it worked. Well, I got to tell you, it worked. And folks, we write about that in the book. We write about that. We talk about that in the seminar series. We talk about the principles that will keep you in a spirit, an attitude of romance all the time. That's
so
what I want to say.
You're not looking for the problems. Right?
No.
And that is a state of mind too. Now, if I would have to stop and think, somewhere, well, what is it that drives you crazy about, it's annoying about your husband? It's like, I really have to stop and think about that. If I thought long enough, I'm like, oh, he leaves his shoes in the middle of the floor, right?
Right.
And then we joke about that. I'm like,
right.
Hide the shoes in the closet.
Thank you, Dr. Willie David Larkin. He said, thank you. That Willie Jolley is a real deal, which is the only way we can help others improve, grow, and get better in their relationship. And that's what we're here to do. We want to just bless people and talk to them and help them have a better marriage. We met a couple last night at I don't know if they're watching tonight at Maggiano's.
Oh, yeah.
And Brandon and his wife. And Olympia liked that phrase, an attitude of romance. Thank you, Olympia.
Oh, thank you, Lynn.
It's an attitude that is ongoing, and you're thoughtful and you're being kind. But we told the couple, they've been married 3 years, how important it is.
Together 5.
Together 5. Mm-hmm. And how important it is to get mentors, get marriage mentors in your life. Get marriage mentors in your life, because mentors will help you to avoid the bumps and the knots and the difficult moments, because they've been there. And they'll tell you, here's what works. You don't have to recreate the wheel. I'm going to tell you how it works and what works. So we've been doing that and sharing it with couples everywhere we go. We put it in the book. Now people around the globe, Philippines, as we have our friend tonight from here. We've had people from Greece and South Africa, Australia, and people then watch it. Hey, for everybody in the other countries, thank you for sharing with friends in your community, because so many people are now joining us around the world. We are shocked when we get these emails from people saying we watch the replays on YouTube and so forth. So
I think it's important to know that a loving relationship is always ongoing learning.
Yeah.
Ongoing, how can I find a new way to say I love you, to say I appreciate you? And if you're not selfish, that's the other thing, to be unselfish. If each person is unselfish, it makes for a very loving, kind, and humorous and outrageous relationship where you just really like each other. And let me just say there's a lot that goes with the temperament, the character, and the personality. And I would highly recommend any of the books by Florence Littauer.
We had met her. She passed away, didn't she?
She passed away.
Yeah.
Yes. Florence Littauer. And personality plus. A lot of times people use, and the books will refer to personality as the overall thing that encompasses temperament, character, and personality. They just kind of lump it all together. But her Personality Plus for couples is an excellent book on everybody. I mean, it came out like 10 or more years ago. She's been dead 4 or 5 years. It's humorous, and it gets you to see, oh my God, that's my mate. Oh, now I understand why every time I say this, he does this. And it's okay. And then there's another book that talks about a good marriage, and that good marriages do actually help you live longer and healthier and become more financially secure and independent.
If you're interested in the series, the Marriage Relationship Repair series, the first one is going to be just $20, just the intro. And that, if you're interested in that, not the mistakes that married people make that mess up their marriage and relationships and how to fix them. It's going to be $20. $20. Just send us an email at info@williejolly.com. Say, I'm interested, and we'll get back to you and let you know. We're going to be doing it soon. We're planning it now. Go to jollymarriage.com. Get the book. Get 2 copies. Again, 2 copies. Do it today. Right now, when we finish this, go to Jolly Marriage, get the 2 copies, get the bundle, in fact. The 2 books, 2 workbooks, audiobook, and the CD seminar. Invest in your marriage. Invest in your marriage. And then make God the CEO.
It is cheaper than a divorce.
They're much cheaper. And remember to make God the CEO of your marriage. This is a business, and it's a CEO. He's at the top.
And see, I want to talk about the fact that marriage is a business. The business of marriage.
We'll do that one later. We can't do it now. You get ready to go. You get ready to go down the rabbit hole.
No, but I'm saying
I got that. D, our time is up. You about to explain it. She's explaining, and we got to go. Terrence, he says now divorce. That will cost a fortune. So get the book, get the package. It'll work. It'll help you. Greetings to everybody. Blessings to everybody. Our time is up. We're going out with our music because you got to stay close to you. God bless you. Have a great week on purpose. Happy Mother's Day!
Happy Mother's
to
Day.
all the mothers.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.